Top 5 zodiac signs that have the support of higher powers. There are people whom fate protects, even when everything around them is falling apart. They fall and rise even stronger. They are saved by chance, guided by intuitive signs, and doors that were closed to others mysteriously open right in front of them. This is not luck. This is the support of higher powers. Their energy is always with those born under special constellations, because it is through them that the world achieves balance. Each of these signs has its own invisible shield, not made of metal, but of light that can stop any darkness. They feel guidance from within, see the way where others are lost, and always receive a sign in time when they need to act. Stay until the end, and you will find out who exactly belongs to this select circle. Subscribe if you believe that invisible forces also guide you. Today we will reveal what is usually kept silent. The first sign is Capricorn. Its strength lies in silence. Capricorn never boasts about its victories, but the silence around it is a sign that higher powers are already working in its favor. His path is difficult, like a rocky trail in the mountains, where every step requires effort. But it is precisely because of this steadfastness of character that he has earned the support of the heavens. Capricorn is a symbol of endurance, and the universe sees in him someone who is not afraid of pain for the sake of growth. He may remain silent when everyone else is arguing, but at the moment when others give up, he receives a secret impulse, an invisible sign from forces beyond human understanding. These forces tell him when to stop, when to wait, and when to act. Their signals come through unexpected encounters, short phrases he hears at the right moment, and intuitive impulses that keep him from making mistakes. His path is not about random luck, but about a deep union with the laws of the universe. Capricorn understands that fate does not like haste, and therefore his patience is rewarded more than anyone else's inspiration. Even when the world seems indifferent, doors open for him that others cannot see. He is not given ease, but opportunity, not a ready-made result, but the chance to create his own miracle. And this is what makes Capricorn chosen, not in the sense of pride, but in the sense of a deep responsibility. He is entrusted not just with living, but with building, strengthening, and maintaining a balance between the material and the spiritual. The support of the higher powers is felt in his ability not to panic where others lose their footing. There is always firm faith in his heart, even if he does not call it faith. He sees patterns that others see as chaos. His mind is an instrument of the Creator, and his will is proof that true strength is always quiet. When others see him as cold, it is actually concentration. When it seems that he is alone, in reality, those who are invisible to the human eye stand beside him. Capricorn is a sign through which the higher powers teach the world stability. In it, they embodied the idea that only those who do not retreat can become a support for others. His destiny is not a simple path to comfort, but a lofty mission to show that true blessings come not to those who ask, but to those who deserve them. And that is why each of its falls is not the end, but proof that the higher powers are preparing a new level. When everything around it collapses, Capricorn does not look for someone to blame. It raises its eyes and continues on its way, because it knows that beyond the limits of fear, its steps are caught by the hands of those who lead it further. The second sign is Virgo. Virgo has an inner purity that cannot be destroyed, even by years of trials. The higher powers chose her not for her voice, but for her ability to hear silence. Her soul is like a mirror that reflects the order of the world. Where others are lost in chaos, Virgo sees structure, and where people see loss, she sees a lesson. This is not just logic, it is her spiritual code given from above. Her support from the higher powers manifests itself in her ability to heal others, not with her hands, but with her presence. Her calmness stabilizes the space. Her attentiveness is a gift that is often underestimated. But it is through this attentiveness that she senses the signals of the universe without even realizing it. When someone nearby makes a mistake, Virgo seems to know in advance how to correct it. When she is silent, it is not indifference. It is a way to conserve energy so that at the right moment she can direct it where it will be most useful. Higher powers have entrusted Virgo with the most delicate mission to maintain the balance between good and chaos in the little things. That is why she feels uneasy when something is out of place, when a word is said incorrectly or an intention is insincere. This is not just perfectionism. It is spiritual intuition through which higher energies correct the world. Her path is one of service without ostentatious heroism. She saves when others do not even notice the danger. She helps when she is not asked to. And she does this not for praise, but because the higher powers act through her. Her hands are made to mend, her mind to understand, her heart to purify. When dark times come, Virgo does not despair. She knows how to find meaning even in loss. That is why the universe opens paths to her that are closed to others. She is sent the right people, precise coincidences, signs that appear only when she is at a crossroads. She never finds herself in a real dead end because she is guided. Virgo is a channel of purity. In her heart, the higher powers have left a trace of their logic, harmony that heals even through words. And although she often doubts herself, in reality she is proof that the world cannot exist without those who are created for order, truth, and goodness. Her inner light does not shine brightly. It is soft but unquenchable. And that is why, even in the darkest moments, she is able to be a beacon for others. The third sign is Cancer. There are signs that the universe cherishes tenderly, like a child, and there are those that it protects, strictly, to teach them the strength of the heart. Cancer belongs to the latter. Its support from the higher powers is not in security, but in the ability to feel. Its soul is like water, deep, sensitive, flexible, but unbreakable. Through it, the higher powers teach humanity, compassion, sincerity, and love. Cancer carries a mission to preserve life around it. His energy creates a space where others find peace. Where people feel tired, he instinctively begins to support, heal with words, care, and presence. He often does not realize that the higher powers are acting through him. When he hugs someone, the world becomes a little brighter at that moment. Their intuition is a channel of communication with heaven. They sense danger before it happens. Higher powers whisper to them through dreams, sudden premonitions, and strange coincidences. Cancer cannot explain them, but they save them again and again. Sometimes through pain, because their trials always have meaning. The support he receives is not in protection from the world, but in the strength to endure it. In the most difficult moments, when everything is falling apart, Cancer feels that someone is holding his soul, preventing it from crumbling. This is no coincidence. It is the higher powers reminding him that he is not alone. They chose him for his ability to love even those who do not deserve it, for his willingness to forgive when his heart hurts, for his belief in goodness even when surrounded by darkness. And that is why Cancer becomes a mirror in which everyone sees their own conscience. His presence is a spiritual test for others. Those who are unable to be sincere around him begin to see their own insincerity. Higher powers do not make Cancer's life easy, because through difficulties, they form in him a source of love that never dries up. And when he, tired, wants to give up on people, that is when a quiet warmth comes, a sign that he is being held up from above. Because his mission is not just to live, but to remind the world that humanity still exists. Cancer is proof that heaven has a heart. And when he cries, the higher powers do not pity him, they purify him. Because it is through his tears that the world gets a chance to become kinder. The fourth sign is Pisces. Inside Pisces lives a silence that not everyone can hear. It is not the silence of weakness. It is an inner temple, where answers to questions that people do not even have time to ask are heard. Pisces feel invisible currents, like a musician feels the vibrations of a string. They do not ask for help. It comes on its own, because the higher powers do not abandon those who carry the truth of compassion within themselves. When others get angry or panic, Pisces silently make decisions, and at that very moment, an invisible dome of protection appears around them. It does not destroy the storm, but it does not allow it to touch the soul. These people often seem soft, but deep in their eyes lies an unbreakable calm. Their protection lies in the purity of their intentions. When Pisces act from the heart, doors open for them that remain closed to others. Higher powers do not grant them wealth or fame. They give them something much stronger, an understanding of where to go when all roads are shrouded in fog. Pisces rarely doubt their calling, even if they cannot explain it in words. Their lives are made up of invisible signs, chance encounters, dreams that come true, and decisions that turn out to be the only right ones. They seem to be born to remember the light in the darkest moments. Even when everything seems hopeless, Pisces retain the ability to believe, not blindly, but consciously. Their faith is not in rituals, but in the depth of human goodness. Higher powers respond to this faith as if it were an echo, and so in critical moments of life, Pisces always have someone, a person, a situation, a word, who saves them from the abyss. Their support from above works through reflection. When they help others, the world immediately returns the good in an amplified form. Pisces do not accumulate karma, they purify it with their presence. They have the ability to calm the storms in other people's souls without even saying a word. They do not need proof or miracles. They themselves are proof that goodness has power. In the deepest emotional waters, Pisces do not drown, but find pearls, experiences that heal. That is why the higher powers entrust them with the role of bearers of hope. Where others see chaos, Pisces see patterns. Their life is not about struggle, it is about harmony. And when they lose their balance, the world sends them signals, the warm eyes of a stranger, an unexpected message, a memory that restores meaning. Their path is not easy, but it is always blessed. When Pisces stop running away from their emotions and begin to control them, they become guides for others. The people around them begin to change, as if the invisible energy carried by Pisces restarts everything around them. Their choices affect a whole circle of destinies. And this is the main proof of the support of the higher powers. Every action of Pisces has consequences that go far beyond the personal. Pisces is not just a sign. It is proof that tenderness and strength can live in one body, that silence is deeper than any cry, and that those who carry the ability to forgive have invisible protection that no darkness can penetrate. Their hearts are like bridges between the human world and the divine world, and the higher powers are always close to those who know how to listen to this quiet but almighty inner voice. The fifth sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is an explosion of light in the darkness that does not ask permission to shine. His strength lies in his confidence, which is not reinforced by words, because it is palpable, even without proof. The higher powers chose him for a reason. Only Sagittarius is capable of carrying the truth without fear of losing anything on earth. He lives freely, but behind this lies not chaos, but a higher discipline of the spirit. His movement forward is not an escape, but a path illuminated by an inner torch that never goes out. When others doubt, Sagittarius acts. He does not need any signs. He himself is in sign. His presence changes the dynamics of events. Where there is disorder, Sagittarius creates meaning. And for this, the higher powers give him the privilege of being in the right place at the right time. His luck is not a coincidence, but a form of heavenly approval. Sagittarius has the ability to see the goal beyond the horizon, even before others realize it. His inner compass is always tuned to the truth. Even if the path leads through difficulties, he does not turn back, because he knows that everything that happens leads to growth. That is why Sagittarius's fate often seems turbulent. He is constantly undergoing trials that test his resilience. But each blow makes him even more precise in his movements. Higher powers love him for his honesty. Sagittarius does not pretend to be good. He simply cannot tolerate falsehood. And this sincerity, even if it is harsh, cleanses the space around him. People around him feel that they cannot play with illusions with him. Everything becomes real. His directness is sometimes painful, but it is liberating. That is why important truths that needed to be said aloud often come through Sagittarius. When Sagittarius is silent, his thoughts still fly on. His dreams are not fantasies, but plans of the higher powers, which he embodies without fear. And the more he listens to his heart, rather than the noise around him, the stronger the flow of support from above becomes. When others give up, Sagittarius raises his head and sees the way forward, because he knows that the world always leaves the door open for those who remain true to themselves. His inner fire is not just energy, it is a call to action. Higher powers guide him not to his comfort zone, but to where the truth is needed. Where people are afraid to speak, Sagittarius speaks. Where people are afraid to act, he acts. His mission is not to be comfortable, but to remind the world of courage. And even when life challenges him, Sagittarius remains steadfast. His faith is not in something, but in movement itself. He knows that any struggle is only a step, not the end. And this is where the support of the higher powers manifests itself. Each test becomes a new level of strength for him, and each risk is a chance to reveal hidden potential. He is able to inspire others simply by example. People around him begin to see that more is possible than it seems. His energy is contagious, his words are precise, his determination is uncompromising. Even when he silently moves forward, space itself adjusts to his steps. And what is even more amazing is that fate always manages to open the way for him just when it seems that everything is over. Sagittarius is a living reminder that freedom is not a pleasure, but a calling. He bears the invisible mark of approval from the higher powers, and therefore his path is always illuminated, even when darkness surrounds him. He was created to prove that strength lies not in victory, but in faithfulness to one's own truth. And therefore no obstacle can stop the one who is guided by an invisible hand from above.